Hey, Kyle's Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's NXT UK, the last ever episode from September 1st, 2022. It was recorded at the BT Sports Studios in London, England. So this is a sad day for all NXT UK fans, as this will be the last ever episode of NXT UK. And it's could have been even a little more exciting because all both matches tonight are the both big matches tonight have already been spoiled on NXT 2.0 because this Sunday NXT UK leaves with a bang at Worlds Collide, where all the NXT UK titles will be unified with their NXT counterparts in what's shaping up to be a pretty amazing tribute show and a celebration of the life of NXT UK, as it will transition into NXT Europe at some point in 2023. We don't know when. That could be over a year from now. This week on NXT 2.0, we saw all kinds of former NXT UK champions, including Walter, Pete Dunne, and Rhea Ripley, as they were there to remind the current NXT UK champions that they need to win the unification matches for all of the NXT UK's legacy. So this should be a special show to end us, and I will cover the last ever episode spoiler free in case you haven't been watching NXT 2.0. So anyway, we've got two big matches tonight. Well, we've actually got a third one in there, but the two big ones are a four-way match for the number one contendership for the NXT women's title with Amale, Isla Dawn, Blair Davenport, and Eliza Alexander, with the winner of that match going to join the women's title unification match this Sunday at Worlds Collide. So that will include NXT champion Mandy Rose and the NXT UK champion, the final boss, Mako Satomura, in the um so in the main event tonight for the last ever episode of the NXT UK brand, it will be Mustache Mountain against each other. It is also for the become who will be the last ever NXT UK champion. As the first ever NXT UK champion, Tyler Bate takes on his former tag partner who turned on him, Trent Seven. So these two guys have been a major part of NXT UK's from the very beginning. So it's definitely fitting to have them close out the final episode of NXT UK. The winner of this match will take on Braun Breaker at Worlds Collide this Sunday in a NXT UK title unification match. So this should be an emotional main event no matter what. So let's see how the final episode goes. And remember, they did not know that these were the final episodes when they were making them. So we weren't going to be expecting too much of a farewell, although the announcers do give us a farewell and we end the show with a really nice tribute video. But it was intriguing. Then it's also a little bit longer episode than usual at 71 minutes, so that's pretty cool. This should be a pretty special show, and a great hype video for tonight's main event starts us off. Then the opening video for NXT UK plays for the final time, and these poor fans in the crowd have no idea that this is the final time they'll see NXT UK. So we'll start with the four-way match for the number one contendership for the NXT UK women's title, who will be in that triple threat match this Sunday at Worlds Collide. So out first is Blair Davenport, who took out Miko Satomura and Saray before they were supposed to have their big title match, a hyped up for a month match that we still have never gotten. So that was kind of the first true sign that something was a little bit wrong with NXT UK after we didn't even really show Blair attacking them and never talked about it again. It's just that it's as if that Mako Satomura Saray match that we hyped up for a month never existed with the hype up, I mean. So anyway, they never. Hopefully, we can still see that match on NXT 2.0 soon with Mako maybe being there. So anyway, out second for this four-way match is Amale, the French Hope, and followed by number one hated in this match, Eliza Alexander, who somehow always looks incredible and not good at the same time. Outlast is Isla Dawn, who's already freaking out. So this should be a pretty wild match. And I already know who wins because of the spoilers from NXT 2.0. But it should be a good one anyway, since they wanted to set up. The reason they did all that spoilers is they wanted to set up this Sunday's uh, Worlds Collide event. So the bell rings to start the final NXT UK women's match of all time. The NXT UK women's division has been one of its strong points, with people such as Kaylee Ray, Nikki Cross, Piper Nevin, and Rhea Ripley all coming through. And of course, the current champion, Mako Satomura. So everyone knocks Isla down out of the ring right away. Then Amale gets double teamed by the two heels, Blair and Eliza, until it's just Blair and Eliza left in the ring. They have a big time striking exchange, throwing some big haymakers here. And holy crap, Blair must have got angry at one of the big strikes, and she just throws Eliza as hard as she can into the ropes. That was ridiculous and looked a little unprofessional and terrible. Eliza's lucky not to get hurt on that one. I've watched wrestling for about 30 years. I've never quite seen a move like that. That was ridiculous. It looked like pure hatred from Blair Davenport. Wonder what that was all about. Anyway, Amale misses a pump kick on Blair after that. Then Amale tries to reverse the next attack, and she does, sending Blair out of the ring in right onto Isla Dawn and Eliza Alexander, who were fighting out there. So now we're told it's an elimination match, and I had no idea about that. So 3 eliminations will have to occur before there's a winner tonight. Amale now goes up to the top rope and jumps onto all 3 women. Amale now fights with Eliza, with Blair fighting Isla, and it should be interesting to see if there's any alliances formed, because once it gets down to 3 people, you'll want to get that maybe an alliance to get it down to the final 2. Since it's elimination, you don't even have to care who gets the pin. So anyway, all 4 women are still fighting outside the ring. Eliza hits Amale into the apron, and Amale hits a neck breaker, so both are down. Meanwhile, Isla hits Blair's face into the ring post, and that looked pretty nasty. So Isla rolls Blair into the ring, getting only a 2 count, and then Isla hits a stiff chest kick and then a tough kick to Blair's head. That was pretty stiff. Blair then pulls the hair to get up. Oh, Blair hits it. Isla got hit with that, just some big kicks. Blair's out for like she's showing a ton of aggression in this match. Isla now hits a knee strike after that, and a nasty drop driver, driving Blair right on her head. This is a ridiculously hard hitting match. So wow, this match is physical. All the ladies are showing everything, and there's a lot of hatred. They all want the title shot. So really good stuff here. Amale now comes in. She hits a spear on Isla Dawn, followed by a pump kick, but Blair then attacks Amale from behind. Blair hits a shining wizard, but Eliza then clotheslines Blair, and then Isla comes over, hitting a meteor on Eliza, who's just barely able to kick out on that. Really good stuff on that one. Isla now goes up to the top rope, but Blair kicks her right in the face to stop her from jumping off. Blair goes up to the top rope too, and I guess it's written in the rule book of wrestling in 2022 that any multi-person match must have a Tower of Doom spot. It's so stupid for me to have that in every single multi-person match. I've been watching them since, I don't know, 2004, 2006, and like TNA, somewhere around there. They've been, it's not like they're ever that exciting. Anyway, I'm kind of just a bitter old man anyway. Like table spots, I don't understand why the crowd goes crazy over table. Like, you've seen someone go through a table 100 times, and do you really need to see it 102nd? So anyway, Amale goes wild now, taking everyone out after that. But Isla stops her. Let me get a quick drink. Really good match so far, though. I love this hard-hitting women's match. Sorry about that. So Amale went wild, taking everyone out after that, but Isla stops her, and then the other 2 come over. Isla gets hit with the Hope Breaker from Amale, and all 3 women cover Isla Dawn for the 1-2-3. So Isla Dawn has been eliminated. I think Isla was one of the few people not released from NXT UK, so I might be wrong about that, but we might be seeing Isla Dawn appear as soon as this Sunday at Worlds Collide, because I think she hasn't been released yet. Hopefully not, because a lot of people did. So the 3 women now all left in the match try quick pins, and it looks like Eliza didn't kick out in time on one of them, but the referee kind of stopped counting anyway, so that was a little botch. Now all 3 women look for an opening as they circle around each other. Blair hits Eliza with a shoulder tackle. Amale hits Blair with a shoulder tackle, and then Eliza hits Amale with a shoulder tackle. All trading shoulder tackles here. Then Amale hits a drop kick on Blair, while she was holding on to Eliza, and Eliza realizes that she can team up with Blair now. So Amale counters their double team, however, getting a 2 count on Blair. And the crowd is 100% in support of Amale, who gets thrown into the ropes hard and is down now. So Blair and Eliza go back to fighting each other. That alliance didn't last long. Blair hits a missile dropkick on Amale, and then Eliza throws Blair into the ring post shoulder first. Eliza hits a nasty-looking knee strike to Amale's face, getting the 1-2-3. Wow. Amale has been eliminated. And unfortunately for Amale, she was one of the many people released, but they hopefully they'll bring Amale back for NXT Europe whenever that starts up. Especially, I'm thinking they will, because Amale's from France, so they're definitely, since they want to make it more NXT Europe instead of UK, she's one of the lucky ones, I'm sure, that'll get called back. But not everybody from NXT UK that got released is going to get called back. Anyway, we're now down to Blair Davenport and Eliza Alexander in this match, who both look beat up and tired. So they take a few minutes to get their mind back, and then Blair misses an enziguri kick. Eliza's able to hit a German suplex after that, and Blair's just barely able to kick out. Eliza pulls her hair, but Blair's able to punch her away. Eliza hits some strikes and a sliding lariat, getting a 2 count. Blair's shoulder's damaged from that ring post shot earlier. She's kind of slowed down from that. Blair then pulls the hair again and hits a knee strike to the gut. And the crowd's not cheering for Blair because the crowd is cheering for Blair Davenport because they hate Eliza Alexander even more. So Blair now hits a double stomp from the top rope to a standing Eliza, and that looked great. Eliza's just barely able to kick out. Blair then hits a flurry of short arm lariats. On the fourth attempt, though, Eliza ducks under the short arm lariat, hitting another suplex. But Eliza misses the running knee that might have ended it here. They counter each other back and forth about 5 times each until Blair Davenport hits a middle rope German suplex, because they ended up on the ropes at a point. Blair was too hurt to cover right away, but she's able to hit a nasty-looking V-trigger knee strike. Blair Davenport then hits an equally nasty-looking Michinoku driver, dropping Eliza right on her head, or at least making it look like she did. And this, of course, gets the 1-2-3. The winner of this match and new number one contender to both NXT and NXT UK women's titles is Blair Davenport. So that was a great way to close out the women's division in NXT UK. Now Blair Davenport will be in the triple threat match this Sunday at Worlds Collide in a title unification match against both Mandy Rose and Meiko Satomura. Really looking forward to that match. If you missed 2 weeks ago on NXT 2.0, Meiko Satomura, the NXT UK champion and final boss, made her NXT 2.0 debut, and we had a talking segment between all 3 women in this triple threat match Sunday. We've also seen Blair Davenport take out Indy Hartwell in Blair's NXT 2.0 debut. So that title match this Sunday should be great, and Blair will have a great chance to unify both the NXT and NXT UK titles she's never held before, and she could now be the unified holder of both. So big time stuff there. Before we go to a commercial break, we see that Trent Seven's in the back. He's on his phone as he's preparing for the big main event title match. Then we come back and Tyler Bate's also getting warmed up, but we've got one quick match before the big main event title match, as the Neanderthal Saxon Huxley now comes out for the next match, and his opponent will be Kenny Williams, who failed to unmask Tiger Turan. He lost in the first round of the NXT UK tournament and then got released. So not good times for Kenny Williams. Saxon was also released, so this is a lame duck match. Both guys are gone already. Unfortunate for them. Let's see if both guys can get back to NXT Europe whenever that comes around. Saxon is able to use his massive size advantage right away to take control. Saxon hits about 10 running attacks in a row and a side slam for a 2 count. Kenny then starts to fight back, but Chase U now comes out. Andre Chase, Bodie Hayward, and Thea Hale, they distract Kenny Williams, allowing Saxon to take control. So if you remember, a few weeks ago, Saxon was in the back of the Chase U classroom. Unfortunately, we don't know if this is going to go anywhere past tonight now that he's released, but good to see them here anyway. Saxon throws Kenny over the top rope. Chase U catches Kenny, who says, "Put me down." So they do, and Kenny lands hard on the outside. Back in the ring, Saxon Huxley, it's a big move to get the 1-2-3. And winner of this match by pinfall, Saxon Huxley. So he celebrates with Chase U in the ring, and a good moment for the fans to cheer on the last ever match ever. And that means coming up next is the big one, the big main event, the last ever NXT UK match for to become the last ever NXT UK champion. It's been one of the better titles, one of the best titles in all of WWE over the past 5 years or so, and it's one of the most beautiful title belts in existence in wrestling right now. So it'll be a sad day Sunday when we might see it for the last time, but maybe in the future it could come back, maybe even being a secondary title in NXT Europe, like kind of how the US title is secondary title in WWE. But anyway, um we get a really long and beautiful highlight video here that shows the entire history of Trent Seven and Tyler Bate in NXT, including Tyler Bate's Triple Crown victories and the recent heel turn from Trent Seven. So what happened? That happened right after Mustache Mountain lost the tag titles, and it seemed to be the full story here is that the 40-year-old Trent Seven was worried and fearful about losing his job if Mustache Mountain ever lost the tag titles. And Trent Seven's a smart man and could see that WWE didn't call Mustache Mountain up as a team yet. So Trent also knows that Tyler Bate, at only 25 years old, was probably about to get called to America without him, which could lead to Trent Seven getting released. So Trent started cheating to make sure that they always kept the tag titles, and he would have made it at least to this Worlds Collide show. But Tyler was understandably against all the dishonorable tactics from Trent Seven, and their disagreements cost them the tag titles in the end. So Trent Seven went into desperation mode to keep his dream alive, which his dream is to show the world the biggest stage possible in WWE, that British strong style of wrestling, and he wants to save all of British sport along the way. So Trent knew what he was doing before he knew that what he was doing before never got him called up. So he tried something different. He attacked his brother, his friend, his student Tyler Bate, and the fans, and disrespected the fans and anyone in his way. And then Ilya Dragunov's injury came at a timely time for Trent Seven, who now finds himself only one win away from finally becoming the NXT UK champion. However, standing in Trent's way is the man he just stepped on to get to the top, and the man he once called a brother and was a mentor to, Tyler Bate. To Trent attack Tyler, breaking up the brotherhood himself. So Tyler Bate knows that this is his final test. This is the final test for Tyler Bate to go from a big strong boy to a big strong man. He could become the first ever two-time NXT champion, and now we know this is for the final. So he could be the first and the final NXT UK champion. Tyler, the highlight video was really good. So were the introductions. We've got Sid and Johnny Saint out there with the beautiful NXT UK title belt on a table in between. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, who are staring each other right in the eyes, and the crowd's chanting for Tyler and chanting against Trent, like, who are ya? So this should be a great match. So much drama is behind this one. Trent comes in with the size and the experience advantage, but Tyler Bate has won more titles in NXT UK, so you'd have to consider him the favorite. But we do know that Trent Seven will cheat his way to victory, so that could also be the X factor. Let's go here. The bell rings. They tie up. Tyler gets a headlock takeover. Trent counters to a head scissors, but Tyler nips up, and then they reset. This time it's Trent that gets the headlock takeover, and this time it's Tyler that applies a head scissors. But Trent needs to get to the ropes to get a break. He can't nip up. A little sign that Tyler's agility advantage could also be what separates them, because Trent and Tyler showed off they are equal in skill. However, the youthness of Tyler Bate ultimately might decide this match, and going back to the initial trouble Trent had with accepting that Tyler Bate will be the bigger star than him, and Tyler will have a better career. So they reset again here. We've just started. Tie up. Trent gets him down again and applies an armbar, but Bate gets to his feet and rolls out. They reversed wrist control now, and Bate gets a nice takedown. They tie up. Trent gets a wrist control now and works on the arm. Bate flips out and does a nice drop kick. So they tie up immediately. It's won by Bate, who goes on the attack now, hitting some kicks and chops. Trent then kicks the knee out and takes control, hitting up Tyler Bate's knee. Here we go with the knee attacks from Trent Seven. So Tyler Bate's able to kick Trent off and out of the ring, and then Bate dives to the outside, taking back control in the ring. Tyler's hitting some strikes, but Trent catches him with a dragon screw leg whip, and that has really damaged Tyler Bate's knee now, especially after Trent's now throwing the Bates knee into the ropes hard, hitting stomps and applying a knee bar. Bates caught in the middle of the ring, but he strikes his way out of this. Trent keeps control with a knee breaker, and then Trent hits a diving uppercut right to the knee. Massive short arm chops right after that, and Tyler Bate is in big trouble, but he's able to counter the next chop, and Bate hits some jabs, but Trent feints a punch and hits a DDT. Trent's back in control, immediately going back to the knee. Trent hits some stiff kicks to the face as well. This ends up firing up Tyler Bate, who starts absorbing the kicks, getting up to his feet. Bate hits a big suplex, finally buying him some time to recover all those knee attacks. They both get up, but Bate hits a big time uppercut here and a running back elbow with corner mounted punches. Bate hits another suplex followed by a standing shooting star press. What a flurry from Tyler Bate after absorbing those kicks and firing up. Trent then counters the next attack, hitting a snapdragon suplex. That was massive. But right after this, Tyler reverses a suplex with a deadlift version for a 2 count. Both men are now hurt, and neither can withstand too much damage, you would have to think anyway. Bate then lifts Trent up on his shoulders for the airplane spin, but not a good idea with a bad knee. Trent's able to escape, and he hits the 7-star lariat, only for a 2 count here with the ripcord lariat, and Bate showing the fire to kick out, but now Trent applies the figure 7, and that fighting spirit is going to be challenged. Bate's knee is in trouble, and it might get crushed before he would ever tap out. But if the knee gets crushed, he would lose the match eventually anyway. Bate tries to get to the ropes, but then he's able to reverse the pressure, and now Trent's the one that has to get to the ropes. Bate's knee is going to be a mess going forward, and the crowd is going wild. Both men are still down. Trent hits a kick, and then while they're still down, they start a forearm battle on the mat, where then some chops, and the shots get harder as they get to their feet. But Tyler Bate's knee is keeping him from doing too much. Tyler absorbs some more shots, fires up now, so Trent's hitting chop after chop. They have no effect. Tyler Bates just walking forward and gritting his teeth through the pain. Then they slap each other as hard as they can in the face. I thought they were going to break their jaw. That was ridiculous. They get up. Bate hits a rolling kick, but Trent hits a kick back. Tyler hits a rebound lariat and the Tyler Driver 97. But Trent 7 also showing he has the fighting spirit to kick out. He's fighting for his dreams and his career. Bate then hobbles his way up to the ropes, but he was too slow. So Trent goes up to the apron. They start striking each other. Trent gets on the ropes as well, and they look for a suplex to the outside of the ring. 7 was going to Trent to put Bate out of the ring, but Tyler blocks it, then hits some strikes, but Bate gets knocked down. Bate runs back up, hits an uppercut, and Bate goes to the top rope looking for a suplex into the ring, but a nasty looking X-plex was countered here, and Bate goes down hard on his back. He's just barely able to kick out. Both men are surviving shots that would normally beat them, but because there's so much on the line and because this is so personal, they're able to kick out here. Trent then hits a big punch, and Trent hits the Tyler Driver himself, but Tyler finds the heart to kick out, not wanting to lose to his own move. The crowd is going wild, and they're singing and chanting. It's so sad that this is the last time the crowd will be here, and they don't even know it yet. So Trent now breaks Tyler Bates' finger, just like Pete Dunne used to do, as Tyler then counters the next attack with the DDT, and Tyler Bate himself hits the 7-star lariat. But Trent also had the heart to kick out of his own move. Tyler Bate quickly jumps up to the ropes, landing on his chest so that he didn't have to destroy his knee. Bate then hits the spiral tap from the top rope, but again, Trent 7 kicks out. What the heck? Nothing is going to keep these guys down. They might have to go for a knockout victory. Trent then surprises Bate, almost winning it with a roll-up. Tyler Bate then ducks under a back fist, and he hits the bop and bang punch. Tyler hits the Tyler Driver 97, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3. The winner of this match and new NXT UK champion, Tyler Bate. So 5 years after winning it to become the first NXT UK champion, Tyler Bate wins the NXT UK title again to become the first ever and only 2-time champion, because, as we now know, he will be the last NXT UK champion ever. So this Sunday, Tyler Bate will go on the Worlds Collide, taking on Braun Breaker in the NXT UK title unification match to close out this chapter of NXT UK forever. Maybe their spirit will live on in NXT Europe, and maybe maybe some of the main characters have already now journeyed to America. But this is a sad moment for NXT UK. But also a great moment to have this match of all things close it out. What a match to close thing out. High drama all the way through. So now Tyler Bate moves to America and he'll try to main event WrestleMania one day. But meanwhile, Trent Seven's fears absolutely came true. He lost the tag titles. Tyler moved to America, and Trent Seven has been released from WWE. So, wow, what a sad and somber way to end NXT UK. The entire story that Trent's been feeling and telling these last few months have all come true. Trent Seven now goes home while Tyler tries to go become a big star in the world of wrestling, and a really sad moment for everyone that's followed Trent Seven's NXT UK run for it to end like this. But at the end of the day, not everyone's dreams can be realized. All you can do is fight to the bitter end, and Trent Seven certainly did that. He even attacked his own brother to try and keep his dream alive. But in the end, Trent always knew the truth when he first started mentoring Tyler, that Tyler Bate was always going to be the bigger star. But you can't blame Trent for acting this way at the end. If you look 5 years ago, it seemed like the 35-year-old Trent Seven could one day be on that WrestleMania stage showing the world British strong style. Well, Trent one day will be able to sit back and take solace to the fact that British strong style did indeed make it to the big stage where they can show their brand of wrestling to the worldwide audience, because Trent's legacy will be passed on to Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, who would be wrestling in front of millions for years to come, showing the British strong style. So Trent Seven, at the end of the day, sad story to end here on this episode, on the final episode of NXT UK. He's now had his fears realized, and he is fired while Tyler goes to America. But one day, even if, first of all, never say never, we could see Trent Seven as early as Worlds Collide on Sunday. But if we never see Trent Seven in NXT or WWE again, and Trent Seven kind of retires and has nothing else going on, he will be able to sit back one day and smile when he sees somebody like a Tyler Bate or a Pete Dunne showing British strong style at WrestleMania in the main event, which I think either of them might have a chance at one point in their careers. So good stuff. So anyway, I can't wait to see what's going to happen at Worlds Collide this Sunday. But first, we'll end the last ever episode of NXT UK with a great highlight reel of all the unique NXT UK's biggest moments. I didn't take notes for this one, but basically all the best and biggest moments you could imagine. Definitely, if you're a fan of NXT UK, go find this highlight video at the end of the last ever NXT UK episode. So, whew. Yeah, you never know. I mean, Trent Seven could be back soon. He could be back as soon as Sunday, or we might never see him again. And if that's the way it goes out, what a story he told, you know. What a match to go out for the final episode of NXT UK, and just what a story he told, where it came true and his biggest fears were realized, and it was maybe nothing he could ever do to fight that. But you kind of would have thought maybe of 3 years ago that Trent Seven would be on like Raw or SmackDown, and we would see Mustache Mountain on the main roster. Unfortunately, a man named Vince McMahon was in charge at the time. Had Triple H taken over 4 years ago, yeah, we would have been seeing Mustache Mountain on the main roster. But unfortunately, it never happened. Tyler Bate now has a great chance, but the older veteran Trent Seven has been released. So that's a sad way to end NXT UK with this match and that moment and that story. But I think the legacy will live on. We'll see what happens in NXT Europe. You never know. Never say never with anything. NXT Europe might have the spirit of NXT UK, and maybe they can start running shows, and maybe they'll become a traveling thing, and they'll have shows in the in UK, and some of those same fans will cheer on some of the same people. Maybe like Amale will be there, and some of these other people that did get released. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. In the meantime, Worlds Collide, I'll be covering that on Sunday. Going to be a really good event. Every match on that card looks amazing. If you're a fan of NXT UK and you missed NXT 2.0 this week, it was awesome. We had so many former champions like Gunther, Walter, and then all kinds of other people showed up. Pete Dunne was on he must be already be in England, but everybody showed up to root on their respective. Like Finn Balor was there to tell Braun Breaker, like, you got to win, and then Gunther was there to tell Tyler Bate, he's got to win. Kaylee Ray was there to tell Mako she's got to win, and then Shayna Baszler was there to tell Mandy she has to win. So really good stuff. Definitely go check those out, and definitely check out that little highlight video at the end of this episode. So um, it's a shame it ended up this way. Who knows what's the blame? I blame the pandemic more than anything. I think the pandemic just kind of screwed over any momentum NXT UK had going. It was a big deal, and that might be the reason that it's now closed down. But we'll see if NXT Europe could have the spirit that NXT UK started, and maybe one day every NXT Europe will become a big thing, and they'll always point to the pilot episode, if you will, the 5-year run that NXT UK had before NXT Europe came into existence. So we'll see what I'm sure the history books will treat NXT UK kindly. Sure, it wasn't the most popular brand. It's the least popular brand in all of WWE. However, for years now, it's been having the best matches by far. So for someone like me, I don't really like to get into all the different indie promotions. I like to have like a set roster of people. So that's kind of why I don't get into independent promotions too much. For me, that doesn't like independent promotions, but I will watch weekly television, like I watch NWA and Impact and all kinds of other stuff. I getting to learn all these all these UK wrestlers through NXT is really helped me out, so don't let anybody tell you that NXT UK was a failure. It had great matches. It had people that go up to the main roster who's seemingly like a Gunther has a chance to be like he could be someone that beats Roman Reigns for the title. That's how good and highly valued he's seen. So I think NXT UK is going to be looked at favorably. If it never comes back, and even if NXT Europe fails, I think people will look back in 20 years and really say that NXT UK was a great thing. Like I said, now I know so many more wrestlers from the UK and Europe in general just because of this show, because I refuse to watch like independent type stuff. I wish it just was easier to watch them here on NXT UK. So I know some people were a little upset at the very beginning, thinking this was just a tactic to kill the independent scene of, and it kind of did. WCC or What Culture Pro Wrestling got destroyed by the creation of NXT UK. Maybe What Culture would have done like a way better. So we don't know how things will shake out, but at the end of the day, I think history will treat NXT UK favorably, and I just don't have much else to say about it. They get their one last little celebration of their life, if you will, on Sunday, and then we might not ever see the NXT UK titles. We might not ever hear the name NXT UK said on WWE programming ever again after that point. But I'm sure we'll hear about it once NXT Europe starts back up. We don't know if that's in over a year. All we know is it's in 2023. Could be a year from now, or it could be over a year, or it could be in 6 months. We just don't know. So I'll just keep your ear to the ground on any news, and I'm going to get going. So again, this was a little bit of an emotional episode of NXT UK. Really good stuff on it. Great story they told. Mustache Mountain, great tag team. Trent Seven, hopefully he can become a big star still and get even bigger. I think he's got a lot left to offer to the world of wrestling, whether it be it for Progress or something like that, Rev Pro in Britain, or maybe something like New Japan would be wild to have Trent Seven there. So anyway, something like an AEW or an Impact, and maybe he just comes back. Well, maybe we'll see Trent on Worlds Collide. You never know. So I'm gonna get going. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.